Welcome to Freda Chando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say I'm humbled by your continued support to this channel. Today I have a neighbor who is playing loud music, so you will bear with me if you get some music at the background. You will bear with me. Now, is President William Samoei Ruto undermining the stature of one Moses Masika Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly? This is a question that is trending because there is a by-election in Bungoma. Moses Wetangula was elected as the senator of Bungoma in the last concluded election, and according to their agreement in Kenya Kwanza, he was to become the Speaker of the National Assembly, so he relinquished that seat. He is now the Speaker of the National Assembly, so that seat is vacant, and there is a by-election that is looming there. Campaigns have started. The Azimio have appointed Wasila Munyinyi of DAP, I think, to run to be the flag bearer there. And Moses is proposing one of the candidates who belongs to Ford Kenya, because Moses is the patronage of Ford Kenya party. But it is said that William Samoei Ruto is keen on taking that seat. He wants that seat to go to the UDA.
Alhamisi tarehe 10 mwezi Novemba mwaka 2022, Mwambu Mabonga akawa mgeni katika afisi za IEBC kaunti ya Bungoma. Akiwa wa kwanza katika kinyang'anyiro cha useneta kaunti ya Bungoma kuwasilisha stakabadhi zake ili kuidhinishwa rasmi kama mgombea.
I'm reliably informed ya kwamba I'm the first candidate to be cleared. Na sasa tumemalizana na IEBC. Tunaanza safari yetu to sell our agenda kwa watu wa Bungoma.
Mabonga aliandamana na viongozi wa UDA kutoka mkoa wa Magharibi, akiwemo mbunge wa Webuye Dan Wanyama, seneta wa kaunti ya Kakamega Daktari Bony Khalwale na wengine.
Hivi leo nina furaha, ninashukuru Mungu na ninashukuru tume ya IEBC, ninashukuru wakaaji wa Bungoma kwa kuniunga mkono kwa dhati na pia kunipa fursa ya kwamba nikapate kutembea katika kaunti hii nikielezea watu wa Bungoma yale tutafanya.
Khalwale alitaka wakazi wa Bungoma kumchagua Mabonga wa UDA kwa kusema idadi ya wabunge wa UDA ndiyo ilimpelekea Wetangula kuwa spika wa bunge la kitaifa.
Thanks to your vote, the people of Bungoma, today the Speaker of the Republic of Kenya in the National Assembly, the third most powerful politician in Kenya, is from our community, Moses Masiga Wetangula. What that means is, Abaluya, that if something happens to Ruto, God forbid, if something happens to Rigathi, God forbid, Wetangula would be the president of Kenya. We have achieved. But we don't want confusion. Wetangula did not become speaker because of the votes of Fort Kenya. He became speaker because of the 145 members of parliament of UDA. If the 5 members of Fort Kenya had voted for Wetangula, he would have gotten 5 votes. If the 6 members of ANC would have voted for Wetangula, Wetangula would have gotten 11 votes. To become speaker, you need 2/3 of members of parliament present and voting. So he is speaker courtesy of UDA.
Very many people are shocked by this move because Moses Wetangula from Bungoma gave William Ruto a whopping 255 votes, according to the result of the IEBC. I know you're about to tell me that there were controversies. Yes, there could be, but what we have at the IEBC portal is that there were 255,000 votes against the 145 to the former Prime Minister. And so very many people believe, ladies and gentlemen, that were it not for Moses Wetangula, maybe William Ruto would have not been declared the president of Kenya. But how is the president repaying him? Because it is a common practice that that seat would have been left for the Ford Kenya team. In fact, I don't see even the need for the UDA and Ford Kenya tackling each other on this. In fact, the president has instructed one Senator Bony Khalwale, the bullfighter, to ensure that he delivers that seat to the UDA. In fact, the senator is campaigning, and there's a lot of mudslinging there if you listen to some of the speeches that are going on during the campaigns. Now, I think the president wants to entrench himself as the political kingpin in Western Kenya, the same way he did in Mount Kenya. You see, in 2017, the president was keen and he had set his mind on the prize, and the prize was to become the president in 2022. And what he did was to ensure that he had groomed some of his foot soldiers in Central Province to ensure that by the time Uhuru was exiting power, then he would remain the kingpin. People like Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Chungwa had switched camps and were supporting him. And before the former president knew it, William Ruto had painted Mount Kenya yellow in the by-elections, even in Kiambaa, the backyard of the former president. He won those elections. Now, this is a battle, and he's fighting this battle beat by beat. He is now done with Mount Kenya, and now his next focus, ladies and gentlemen, is to ensure that he renders Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi politically senile. And how do you do this, ladies and gentlemen? You ensure that you have got your own people whom you groom. Why must you groom your own people? He wants to ensure that if he goes to Western Kenya, he does not have to pass through Moses Wetangula or Musalia Mudavadi, because these two leaders still have a political ambition, maybe to vie for the seat of presidency in the next general election. And William Ruto knows very well that even though they are in Kenya Kwanza, they are possible enemies. So what he must do is to ensure that he's got his own people there. People whom you make. William Ruto did not make Moses Wetangula, neither did he make Musalia Mudavadi. These are political stalwarts who have got their own parties. And for you to be safe, you need your own people. So this is why William Ruto wants his own people. He will start by any bid, any chance. And the chance here is to get that senatorial seat to go to the UDA. The other thing why you need your own people, or why William Ruto needs his own foot soldiers, is because he cannot trust Moses Wetangula on this. Remember, Moses Wetangula was one of the party leaders in the NASA, the former NASA and the former CORD, where they were together with the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. But then William Ruto lured them, and they abandoned and ditched Raila Odinga when Raila needed them the most. And what goes round comes round. And we always say that if there is one shrewd and cunning politician, one who is focused and can do anything to ensure that he gets the prize, it is William Samoei Ruto. And he learns from some of these leaders. He knows very well, if they ditch Raila Amolo Odinga, what will stop them from ditching William Ruto when he is seeking for the second, to be this president for the second time? Nothing. So what he does, he wants his own people whom he can trust, ladies and gentlemen. That is a fact. And that is the reason why he is keen on ensuring that he delivers this seat. This is not the first time a leader is complaining, and especially from Western, that William Ruto is interfering with him. I remember during the last campaigns, Mudavadi had to go back to his backyard, and he was now speaking in their own vernacular. And he was asking his people, do you think I can have maybe an NAC candidate in Eldoret, and people of Eldoret will elect him? He was telling his own people that William Ruto there was a UDA candidate, I think, in Musalia Mudavadi's backyard, and Musalia took offense. He felt that under the agreement of friends, your backyard should remain your own backyard. In fact, I'm even wondering how the Senator Bony Khalwale got that seat under the umbrella of the UDA. So this is exactly what William Samoei Ruto is doing. He also wants to control the two chambers of houses, the Senate and the National Assembly. You all know by now that William Ruto compromised some of the UDM, party members who were elected under Azimio. In fact, it is the same Moses Wetangula who ruled that they are now legally in Kenya Kwanza. And this has led the UDA party to be the controlling party. He's got very many members according to the ruling of Moses Wetangula. In fact, that's why they have even higher share of the numbers in the committees. And why do you need to control, the houses? Number one, you do this so that you have powers over your political party partners. In Kenya Kwanza, that was formed during the earthquake. You remember Musalia Mudavadi with the ANC and Moses Wetangula with the Ford Kenya, then William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. They now call themselves partners who are making, they are the main partners in Kenya Kwanza. So ndio wewe ndio wakusema when people are in maybe a meeting and there's some controversy and you want who to decide. If you have got more members than your partners, then you will have your way. This is the reason why he wants to have more members even at the backyard of Moses Wetangula, so that he will tell them, let members decide. Sometimes when there is a standoff, you say, can we call our members to decide? So this is the reason why William Ruto still wants to maintain himself as a powerhouse in Kenya Kwanza. The other thing, by ensuring that you've got more members in your party, you enjoy a lion's share of the political party's fund. Currently, the UDA is getting about 577 million Kenya shillings according to the constitution, because it's the largest party, followed by the ODM, which is getting 308 million. Then of course Jubilee 135 million and Wiper 72 million. So William Ruto wants to get grip of this money, because if you start losing your members, then this money will go down. And you see, he's preparing for 2027. He wants to ensure that this money will help him. William Ruto knows you can even use money to compromise some of party officials. People like David Uchien, people like the members of the UDM, they don't just come. Politics is about interest, and one of them is monetary, ladies and gentlemen. So he wants to control the lion's share of this money, and by doing that, you will remain politically relevant. And the last one, ladies and gentlemen, I have a feeling that two things are happening here. If at all Moses Wetangula was given some money before he joined Kenya Kwanza, if at all he was compromised, maybe with some millions of shillings, then if William Ruto decides to place someone to run against his candidate, he will not complain. When you are compromised, you cannot complain because you are bored. I'm saying if at all, because I'm not privy to the meetings that took place before they formed Kenya Kwanza. So I have a feeling that maybe the agreement was based on monetary lines. So if this happened, then Moses will not complain. The last thing that very many people are still asking, there were a lot of what seem to be irregularities from Bungoma. And if you ask the Azimio team, they still believe that Bungoma was the epicenter of massive irregularities that ensured that William Ruto became the president. This came out even in the Supreme Court, where they tried to demonstrate some of the secret IMEI numbers that Bungoma shared with some county. And so, if at all this happened, ladies and gentlemen, and Wetangula was deeply rooted in it, then he's burning with a guilty conscience, and he will not do nothing. This is a battle that continues to play out. We will keep on checking what is happening, but I want to say that in the agreement, gentleman's agreement, I think the president should forfeit this seat to Moses Wetangula, because one, Moses gave him very many votes. He's the one who made him become the president. Number two, this seat belongs to Kenya Kwanza, ladies and gentlemen, he should forfeit it to Moses Wetangula. I don't know what you think. Please tell me if you are a Kenya Kwanza supporter. What do you think? What do you think the arrangement should be like? Do you think the president's right? Do you think Moses Wetangula is rightly complaining? Share with me your comments in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening. Let's meet on another video.